So let us make a fresh attempt at translating this code. This time, let us use the correct operator in Python. Now, when we execute this Python code, at the time we actually call this function, when the red arrow reaches line 1, this is the visualization that Python Tutor shows us. And this is a visualization that is familiar to us. We have in our global frame, we have an n which was initialized to 1001. And now that we are inside the inverse function, this has a parameter n which labels the same integer object. I'm using the non-default visualization to remind us of what is actually going on in Python. So when we call a function and we give it arguments, in Python we say that those arguments are passed by assignment. It's as if we assigned this parameter n to the argument that was given. So now we have two variables referring to the same object. Remember, we have seen that that's perfectly legal in Python. Now, what happens in C? Well, we have just seen the visualization. We know that when we reach this line, Python Tutor visualizes things for us this way. It's telling us that there is a variable n whose value is 1000 in main. But now we have just moved to the inverse function. And it's telling us that at this point, this n, this parameter n, is uninitialized. Its value is about to be given. It's going to be the same as this value, but this value is going to be copied into this variable. Remember, in C, the way to think about variables is not like labels attached to objects, but as certain locations in memory. So whatever data is at this location, specifically at ampersand of n, where n is mains n, data is going to be copied from there to this location, which is ampersand of inverses variable n. So we're going to actually copy this value, and this is called pass by value. When we click on next, as we saw, this value actually does copy over here. So it's important to remember that the way data is passed in the two languages differs. Python is passed by assignment. So whatever you understand about Python assignment statements, that's what happens in Python. In C, whenever you pass data, a copy of that data is made. We have a fresh location in memory, and data is actually copied from where it originally was to this new location. You might think that all this copying could be very, very slow. Imagine, for example, we wanted to call a function not with a single integer, but with a very large amount of data. Let us say a very long string. Then wouldn't this style of pass by value in C be very inefficient? Wouldn't it be much easier to do something like Python? Well, keep that thought in mind for our next lecture.